Have you ever wondered if your breakfast could be quietly harming you each morning? Many of us grow up hearing that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but the hidden truth is that certain breakfast habits might be fueling health problems, especially for older adults. In fact, a few seemingly harmless choices could be paving the way for blood sugar crashes, heart complications, and nagging fatigue that no cup of coffee can fully fix. If you felt sluggish well before lunchtime, or noticed unwanted health changes creeping up over the years, your daily breakfast might be more responsible than you'd expect. Most of us crave a sense of comfort and nostalgia in the morning. We reach for foods that remind us of simpler times, or grab quick fixes when we're pressed for time. Yet, beneath that feeling of familiarity, some common breakfast items can inflame joints, spike blood pressure, or throw our metabolism into chaos. And while we might brush it off as just a day-to-day inconvenience, the compounding effect over weeks, months, and years can be staggering. Today, we're uncovering these deceptive morning pitfalls and exploring simple, satisfying swaps that can make an enormous difference for seniors looking to stay energized, clear-headed, and strong. Get ready for a journey through the hidden side of breakfast. We'll reveal which foods often masquerade as nutritious but can trigger long-term consequences for older adults. We'll also show you practical, tasty replacements that can keep your mornings exciting and your health on track. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a renewed perspective on breakfast and the confidence to make changes that truly serve your body. Let's dive into the first topic without delay. Convenience is often hailed as a modern-day blessing, especially for a morning routine. When we're eager to get started with our day, a quick grab-and-go breakfast can feel like the ideal solution. But packaged pastries, instant cereals, and microwavable breakfast sandwiches frequently hide a minefield of additives and excessive sugars. Even more troubling, the labels on these products, filled with phrases like low-fat, whole grain, or enriched, can trick us into believing we're making a healthy choice when we're not. For older adults, the stakes are even higher. Over time, our bodies become more sensitive to spikes in blood sugar and the inflammatory effects of certain chemicals. This means that what might have seemed harmless in our younger years can pose a real risk as we age. Foods that rapidly raise blood sugar not only lead to mid-morning energy crashes, but can also contribute to a heightened risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Combine that with preservatives designed to keep products on shelves for months, and you have a recipe for digestive discomfort and unwanted pounds that can sneak on over time. Consider breakfast bars, those thin, sweet snacks often touted as perfect for busy lifestyles. Many contain refined flours that break down into sugar almost instantly. Others are loaded with high fructose syrups or artificial flavorings to mimic fruit fillings or chocolate chips when consumed day after day. These additives don't just vanish into thin air. They may contribute to chronic inflammation, which can exacerbate arthritis pain and create a perfect environment for age-related diseases to flourish. By the time lunchtime arrives, you might notice aching joints, grogginess, or an unshakable craving for more sweets. Still, the good news is that convenience doesn't have to be unhealthy. There are plenty of quick, satisfying options that focus on nutrient density rather than empty calories and preservatives. Preparing hard-boiled eggs in advance, choosing plain oatmeal in portable containers, or making overnight oats with nuts and seeds are all strategies that uphold ease without sacrificing good nutrition. What's important is recognizing which easy breakfasts feed our bodies well and which ones leave us lacking. You might be asking yourself, is it really so bad if I only indulge in these products occasionally? The answer depends on what you consider occasional and how sensitive you are to sugar and certain additives. If occasional means once every few weeks, that's one thing. But if it's multiple times a week, those small choices can steadily undermine your health goals. And for seniors, small shifts in diet can make the difference between a vibrant day and one spent battling constant fatigue. It's not about eliminating all convenience. It's about reading labels and staying mindful. Even a small adjustment, like swapping a frosted breakfast pastry for a quick homemade whole grain muffin, can help you maintain consistent energy levels and spare your body unnecessary stress. And remember, every step toward healthier choices is a victory worth celebrating. But these aren't the only hidden threats you should know, you might be thinking. Indeed, there's a common thread that makes nearly all unhealthy breakfast items so problematic: sugar. Let's move on to uncover how a surge of sugar in the morning can wreak havoc on your day and your life. life. Sugar is often described as a silent saboteur, quietly sneaking into our diets and then unbalancing everything from metabolism to mood. For seniors, the body's natural regulatory mechanisms, especially insulin sensitivity, can be more delicate. That means every bowl of sugary cereal or sweetened coffee you enjoy for breakfast could lead to disproportionately large blood sugar fluctuations. Over time, these fluctuations can damage blood vessels, impair cognitive function, and heighten the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. It's not just pure table sugar that poses a danger. Artificial sweeteners, marketed as diet-friendly or zero-calorie, can also raise concerns. Some studies suggest that these chemical sweeteners alter gut bacteria and potentially increase cravings for more sweets later in the day. This cycle can be especially vicious for someone already trying to lose weight or manage a chronic condition like high blood pressure. It can feel disheartening to do the right thing by choosing a diet option, only to find out you're inadvertently fueling other health problems. Picture the routine of 65-year-old Marianne, who decided to cut back on sugar after receiving a pre-diabetic warning from her doctor. She switched from sweetened coffee to coffee with artificial sweeteners, hoping to keep her sweet tooth satisfied without upping her sugar intake. Weeks later, she realized she was consuming more snack foods to curb an unrelenting sugar craving. Her energy levels were unstable, and she was gaining weight despite her best intentions. Only after reverting to unsweetened coffee did she see improvements in her appetite and overall sense of well-being. For seniors, the damage caused by too much sugar or artificial sweeteners goes beyond the immediate sugar high and crash. Chronic high blood sugar can accelerate the aging process, weaken immune responses, and drain mental clarity, leading to moments of confusion or irritability that can seriously impact quality of life. Additionally, the more sugar you consume, the harder your body must work to release enough insulin to manage blood glucose levels. Over time, this increased demand can lead to insulin resistance, which then spirals into greater risks for kidney strain, vision problems, and nerve damage in the extremities. So what's the alternative if you still enjoy a bit of sweetness in the morning? Opt for natural sources, like a small drizzle of raw honey or a few slices of fruit, and pair them with protein or healthy fats. This combination slows down the absorption of sugar and helps your body maintain steadier energy levels. When you swap out artificially flavored yogurt for plain Greek yogurt topped with fresh berries or seeds, you offer your body the nutrients it needs without overwhelming it with unnecessary additives. And yet, sugar isn't the only obstacle we face. You might be thinking, that's exactly right. There's a category of breakfast items beloved for their savory flavor, but these foods carry hidden hazards that can be just as dangerous as sugar. Let's turn our attention to processed meats. Bacon, sausage, and ham have long reigned on breakfast tables as symbols of a hearty morning meal. For many, these foods evoke memories of leisurely weekend brunches or bustling holiday mornings. The salty, savory flavors provide immediate satisfaction, but the long-term impact can be far from comforting. Processed meats come with a host of concerns: sky-high sodium content, unhealthy fats, and preservatives like nitrates that have been linked to cancer and inflammatory diseases. This is particularly troublesome for older adults because our cardiovascular system grows more vulnerable with age. High sodium intake can cause water retention, leading to swollen ankles or feet, and put added strain on the heart. Prolonged hypertension raises the risk of stroke, heart attacks, and kidney issues. It's easy to brush off the potential dangers by thinking, I only have a few slices of bacon. But keep in mind that the daily recommended sodium intake for seniors can be surprisingly low, often around 1,500 to 2,300 milligrams. A single serving of bacon or sausage might edge you dangerously close to that limit before you've even had lunch. Beyond sodium, there's the matter of nitrates and nitrites, preservatives used to give processed meats their appealing color and extend shelf life. When cooked at high heat, these compounds can transform into chemicals associated with an increased risk of certain cancers. For a healthy, younger individual, the occasional indulgence might not show immediate effects. But for an older person with a compromised immune system or existing health conditions, the result can be a heightened vulnerability to inflammation and disease. Take the story of Elaine, who at 72 still felt spry enough to handle household tasks and keep up with an active social life. Yet she constantly struggled with bloating, indigestion, and persistently high blood pressure. After some coaxing from her doctor, Elaine cut back on her morning bacon ritual, substituting it with a vegetable omelet and avocado slices. Within just a few weeks, she reported having more energy, less fluid retention, and greater ease when moving around. Elaine's experience highlights a critical insight. Processed meats may provide an immediate sense of satiety, but they can chip away at overall well-being in subtle yet serious ways. If you love a savory start to your day, consider nitrate-free turkey bacon, leaner plant-based sausages, or fresh fish such as smoked salmon. Lower in sodium versions are available if you look carefully. Another strategy is to limit portions. Instead of several slices of bacon, enjoy just one slice alongside a hearty serving of vegetables. This approach helps satisfy the craving without tipping the scale entirely in an unhealthy direction. And yes, I know what you might be thinking. You say, salt and sugar aren't my only breakfast concerns. What about those products that claim to be healthy but might be just as risky? Exactly. Flavored yogurts, fruit juices, and other cleverly marketed items often lure us in with the promise of vitamins and minerals while delivering loads of unnecessary sugar. Let's dig a little deeper. Flavored yogurts and fruit juices wear a halo of health. They're often promoted with bright labels that boast essential nutrients, probiotics, and vitamins. At first glance, these claims sound valid. Yogurt can be good for gut health, and fruit contains vitamins. However, the devil is in the details. Flavored yogurts tend to have heaps of added sugars, artificial flavorings, and thickeners, effectively turning what might have been a beneficial snack into a dessert-like indulgence. Similarly, fruit juices, even 100% juice, lack the fiber found in whole fruits. This means a glass of juice can pack a hefty sugar load that floods your bloodstream with minimal nutritional speed bumps to slow it down. Imagine 74-year-old Margaret, who cherished her morning glass of orange juice for that burst of tangy flavor. She felt confident that she was getting a solid dose of vitamin C with each sip, yet she noticed persistent mid-morning slumps that left her craving sweets or extra snacks. After consulting with her doctor, Margaret realized the sugar spikes from her daily juice habit were setting her up for a crash. When she switched to consuming whole oranges and occasionally mixing them into a low-sugar smoothie, her energy levels stabilized, and she no longer felt the need to munch on sugary treats by mid-morning. The problem isn't necessarily the fruit itself. It's the form in which it's consumed. A whole piece of fruit contains fiber, which helps regulate the body's absorption of sugar and keeps you feeling satisfied for longer. When that fiber is stripped away, like in juice, what's left is a rapid sugar dose that can strain an older adult's metabolic processes. Over time, these repeated sugar surges contribute to weight gain, fatigue, and greater risks for type 2 diabetes. Flavored yogurts follow a similar pattern. The added sugars overwhelm any probiotic benefits and can lead to inflammation or digestive upset if consumed regularly. It's also worth mentioning that even products claiming to be light or low-fat often compensate by adding more sugar for taste. This switch can make them even more detrimental for seniors aiming to control their blood sugar or maintain a healthy weight. Thus, if you're seeking yogurt's benefits, a plain Greek yogurt is far superior to its fruit-flavored counterpart. You can sweeten it yourself with berries, a small drizzle of honey, or seeds, thus controlling both the type and amount of sugar. But false advertising isn't the only issue we need to uncover. You might be saying, indeed, beyond unhealthy sweeteners, there's another enormous culprit silently undermining seniors' health each morning: refined grains. Let's turn our attention to a category of foods many of us grew up eating daily, yet never suspected to be part of a bigger health puzzle: white bread, bagels, biscuits. These staples have long felt like the centerpiece of a comforting breakfast. They're warm, they're easy, and they hold a prominent place in many cultural traditions. Unfortunately, this simplicity comes with a catch: refined grains. Stripped of their natural fiber and nutrients, refined grains are digested very quickly, sending blood sugar soaring and then crashing. Over time, this pattern can pave the way for metabolic disorders, insulin resistance, and even cognitive decline. For older adults, maintaining stable energy is crucial. Spikes in blood sugar can lead to irritability, dizziness, and a general sense of fatigue that makes it challenging to carry out daily tasks. Moreover, diets high in refined carbs are connected to systemic inflammation, an underlying factor in conditions such as arthritis, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. If you've ever felt inexplicably stiff or unwell a few hours after a stack of pancakes made from white flour, you might be experiencing the subtle effects of this inflammatory response. Take the story of Robert, who at 71 had a long-standing habit of white toast with butter and jam for breakfast. It was something he inherited from his childhood routine, never suspecting it could be an issue. Yet, Robert found himself needing a late morning nap. He felt strangely sluggish and moody. After his doctor recommended switching to sprouted whole grain bread with protein-rich toppings, Robert discovered he could remain active and alert until lunchtime without the usual energy slump. Why do refined grains cause such widespread problems? Without the bran and germ, grains lack the fiber and nutrients that moderate sugar absorption. This absence allows glucose to flood into the bloodstream, forcing the pancreas to release larger amounts of insulin to compensate. When this cycle repeats day after day, the body's cells may start to resist insulin's signals. The result is insulin resistance, which can be an early indicator of type 2 diabetes. When combined with other risk factors like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or obesity, this can develop into metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that significantly heighten the risk for major health complications. The good news is that whole grain alternatives are widely available now, whether you choose whole wheat bread, sprouted grain bread, or oat-based breakfast options. These choices are better for balancing blood sugar and supporting digestion. Add a healthy fat like almond butter or avocado, and some protein like eggs or Greek yogurt to further slow glucose absorption and help you feel satisfied. Simple as it may seem, this small shift can have a profound effect on your day-to-day life, reducing fatigue, stabilizing mood, and lowering the long-term risk of chronic disease. Perhaps you're thinking, all these foods sound like the usual suspects, but what about the endless variety on grocery shelves labeled with words like natural and organic? You're right to wonder. Marketing can be incredibly deceptive, and that's where our next section comes in. Marketing teams are masters at packaging products to look healthier than they really are. Eye-catching labels declare all natural, organic, or no added sugar, but a closer look at the ingredient list often tells a different story. Even natural cereals or energy bars can contain a hodgepodge of refined flours, sweeteners like evaporated cane syrup, and preservatives that extend shelf life. Older adults who carefully read labels can still get tricked by hidden ingredients, written in small print or listed under unfamiliar names. Beyond sugar, manufacturers frequently use artificial colors, flavor enhancers, or emulsifiers that may irritate the gut or contribute to low-level inflammation. While younger bodies might more easily bounce back from ingesting these substances, seniors often notice side effects more strongly. This could manifest as stomach upset, skin reactions, or a general feeling of malaise. It's not always easy to pinpoint the cause, but over time, a diet consistently high in chemicals can degrade health in subtle, persistent ways. Consider cereals branded as natural or fortified. Many boast about added vitamins and minerals, but they also sneak in refined grains, artificial flavors, or sweeteners. Yes, you might be getting 100% of your daily vitamin C from that cereal, but you're also consuming sweeteners that spike your blood sugar or dyes that can disrupt the balance of your gut flora. The question is, do those fortified benefits outweigh the drawbacks? Often, the answer is no, because getting vitamins from whole foods is generally more efficient and beneficial than from processed additions. Seniors have another layer of complexity: medication interactions. Certain food additives can affect how medications are absorbed or metabolized. For instance, consuming too many artificial sweeteners might interfere with gut health, potentially influencing how well your medications take effect. When you're juggling prescriptions for blood pressure, cholesterol, or other conditions, every additional factor matters. Reading labels more carefully is one solution. If you see an ingredient list longer than your grocery receipt, that's a red flag. Words you don't recognize or names that sound scientific might indicate preservatives, emulsifiers, or artificial agents. But what if you really crave a cereal-like breakfast? In that case, look for cereals made from 100% whole grains without added sugars, or consider making your own granola at home with oats, nuts, and minimal sweetener. The homemade route might take a bit of extra effort, but it offers peace of mind and better health benefits. But what should you eat instead, you might be asking? That's exactly what we'll cover next. Not every breakfast needs to be a lettuce wrap or a bland bowl of plain porridge. A satisfying, delicious breakfast is possible when you choose the right balance of nutrients. Let's explore how you can truly fuel your body in the morning. You might think that turning your back on sugary cereals, processed meats, and refined grains means resigning yourself to bland, joyless meals. Fortunately, that's far from the truth. Seniors have a rich array of flavorful, nutrient-packed options that can be prepared without enormous effort. The key is blending protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates in a way that balances blood sugar and supports overall vitality. Egg-based dishes can be a great start. Eggs provide high-quality protein and essential nutrients like choline, important for brain health. Toss in a handful of spinach, bell peppers, or tomatoes for added fiber and antioxidants. If you're a fan of cheese, consider a low-sodium variety and use it sparingly. This approach keeps the meal flavorful while controlling salt intake. Oatmeal, especially steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats, is another excellent choice. Unlike sugary instant packs, these less processed varieties digest more slowly, providing a steady release of energy. Add ground flax seeds or chia seeds for extra fiber and a dose of omega-3 fatty acids. A handful of berries or chopped nuts can deliver natural sweetness and essential micronutrients that benefit the heart and brain. For those who crave a little crunch, whole grain toast or sprouted grain bread offers more fiber and nutrients than white bread. Spread on peanut butter, almond butter, or even mashed avocado to boost healthy fats and protein. Layering slices of tomato or cucumber can also add freshness and more vitamins. The satisfaction of biting into a crunchy piece of toast doesn't have to vanish when you're eating healthier. You just need the right foundation and toppings. Smoothies can be another quick fix, especially if you're in a hurry or prefer a meal you can sip. To ensure you avoid a blood sugar roller coaster, prioritize vegetables like spinach or kale and include a source of protein like plain Greek yogurt, unsweetened protein powder, or soft tofu. Add a small portion of fruit, like half a banana or a handful of berries for sweetness, and consider blending in flax seeds for extra fiber. That way, you get a balanced, nutrient-dense breakfast that's still bursting with flavor. It's also important to remember that you can break free from conventional breakfast food norms. There's no rules stating you can't enjoy a small piece of leftover salmon and a side salad for breakfast, or a bowl of lentil soup. Around the world, many cultures embrace savory dishes in the morning, providing ample protein and vegetables right from the start of the day. If cereal or toast doesn't appeal to you, don't be afraid to experiment with more diverse morning meals. Yet, even these are just the start of rebuilding a better breakfast routine, you might say. Indeed, there are specific superfoods and ingredients that seniors can focus on to maximize nutrient intake every morning. Let's dive deeper into those, exploring how to bring more vitality and resilience to your life one bite at a time. When we talk about nutrient-dense foods, we're referring to items that deliver a high concentration of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other beneficial compounds with minimal drawbacks. For seniors, certain nutrient powerhouses stand out. Berries. From blueberries to strawberries, berries are teeming with antioxidants that combat oxidative stress. This is essential for supporting brain health and reducing inflammation, two factors that become increasingly vital as we age. They also add a sweet note to your meal without relying on refined sugars. Leafy greens. Foods like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard provide vitamins A, C, and K, plus important minerals like magnesium and potassium. These nutrients aid bone health, regulate blood pressure, and support a range of bodily functions crucial for older adults. Tossing a handful of greens into an omelet or smoothie is an excellent way to boost your intake. Seeds and nuts. Chia seeds, flax seeds, almonds, and walnuts supply healthy fats, particularly omega-3 fatty acids that contribute to heart and brain health. They also offer protein and fiber, helping maintain steady energy levels. Sprinkling these on yogurt or oatmeal can add a satisfying crunch and a wealth of nutrients. Fermented foods. Yogurt, plain unsweetened kefir, or even a side of low-sodium miso soup can promote a healthy gut microbiome. Seniors often need extra support for digestive function, and these foods introduce beneficial bacteria that help break down nutrients more efficiently and potentially improve immune function. Lean proteins. Whether it's eggs, fish like salmon or sardines, lean turkey, or beans, getting enough protein in the morning can help preserve muscle mass, especially crucial for seniors who want to maintain mobility and strength. Protein also contributes to satiety, reducing the likelihood of overeating later in the day. When you combine these powerhouse foods, you're giving your body an arsenal of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and essential fatty acids that fortify you against common age-related challenges. You might consider making a power breakfast bowl consisting of cooked quinoa, sautéed spinach, scrambled eggs, and a sprinkle of nuts or seeds on top. The flavors and textures can be surprisingly delicious, and the nutritional rewards are significant. So, how do we bring all these lessons together? You ask. The concluding section will tie everything up, reminding us that the decisions we make each morning have a profound effect on our daily life and long-term health. We'll also cover how small changes made consistently can yield remarkable improvements in energy, mood, and resilience. Let's head there now. Each new day brings a choice, and that choice begins with breakfast. As we've uncovered, certain staples, sugary cereals, processed meats, flavored yogurts, fruit juices, and refined grains can quietly sabotage your energy levels, heart health, and overall well-being. When these foods become a regular part of a senior's diet, the effects accumulate. Blood sugar spikes, inflammation flares, and health complications creep in without warning. Yet, the story doesn't have to end there. By focusing on balanced, nutrient-rich foods, such as whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats, and real fruits and vegetables, you can transform a once hazardous meal into a foundation for vitality. The switch might feel daunting at first. After all, old habits die hard. But remember that every gradual step forward is progress worth celebrating. Perhaps you choose sprouted bread instead of white bread this week, or replace that sugary cereal with a warm bowl of steel-cut oats. Next week, you might venture into experimenting with homemade smoothies or trying a low-sodium, nitrate-free turkey bacon. Over time, these changes will form a new routine that leaves you feeling lighter, stronger, and more engaged in the life you love. What resonated with you most today? Was it the realization that processed meats can derail heart health, or the hidden sugar in yogurts that could silently spike your blood sugar? Maybe you were surprised to learn how easily refined grains convert into sugar once they enter the body. Whatever stood out, hold on to that insight, reflect on it, and take a tangible step toward making your breakfast a meal that nourishes and protects. Write down one small change you're willing to try this week, whether it's substituting a single food item or revamping your entire morning spread. As you move forward, know that you're not alone. Thousands of older adults face the same challenges, discovering that the foods they once trusted aren't the allies they believed them to be. Yet countless seniors have also reclaimed energy, stabilized their weight, and boosted heart health simply by rethinking the first meal of the day. You can join their ranks by taking control of your breakfast choices. If you found this discussion helpful, feel free to share it with someone who might also benefit. Leave a comment below about the insight that intrigued you most and how you plan to put it into practice. Your experiences and questions could inspire others in our community to make positive changes as well. And if you haven't done so yet, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you won't miss any future videos that delve into better living, especially in our golden years. Thank you for watching. And remember, every day is an opportunity to care for your body in ways that will reward you with energy, clarity, and joy. By making more mindful breakfast choices, you're setting the tone not only for your day, but for a healthier, more fulfilling life ahead.